शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। रागादिरोगान् सत्त्वानुषक्तान् शेषकायान् प्रसुतानशेषान् औत्सुक्यं भोऽभियान् कीचकेन यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै। Welcome. Today we would like to discuss the ama. The ama word is a very interesting word in Ayurveda. Always we are using this word, but what exactly this ama means and how we have to interpret this ama at the present day medical terminologies and how to evaluate it, it was not comfortably dealt with the Ayurvedic people. Here it is a small effort I am making to understand this ama with the present day terminologies, and so that a thought provocation is being initiated to understand this word ama. When we are looking this ama, first and foremost we are going to get this word ama. Prayena ama samuthatvena amaya ichuchite. It is Chakrapani says. Amaya is a word or term or the synonym used for the disease. Prayena ama samuthatvena amaya ichuchite. Usually in each and every disease, there must be some ama is going to be there. That is the reason out of the Samprapti Ghatakas, when we are looking a disease manifestative components, Ghatakas, first and foremost is the dosha, second is the dosha, third is the srotas, fourth is the agni, and fifth is the ama. That means we are trying to understand the n number of the people who are speaking about this ama. Collectively, when we are looking this ama, we have to make out what this actually the ama. Another instance in the Madhava Nidana at the Grahani, Roga Sarve Api Mandagnam. Roge Sarva Api Mandagnam. The Mandagni is the total manifestative procedure, initiative, or triggering mechanism to cause a particular disease or a disease in the body. That's the reason why the word Amaya as a synonym for the disease or Agni Chikitsa is said to be the Kai Chikitsa. Kayasya Antaragni Chikitsa, Kai Chikitsa. That means Agni Chikitsa, when we are making almost the disease Chikitsa. But are we doing the same thing in the practice is a big question. Most of the time, we are making dosha pratyanika chikitsa has been forgotten, and we are making only vyadhi pratyanika chikitsa. When we are making the vyadhi pratyanika chikitsa itself, then where is the need of the knowing about the ama? What about the principles of the Ayurveda? See, a stula or derivation of the ama is going to be A means nearer to, Ma means poison. The Ma word as a poison, nearer to the poison is the definition of the ama. As a standard definition of the ama, Ushvano alpabalatvena dhatum adyam apachitam. Dushtam amasekatam rasam amam prachakshati. This is the stanza or word, the sloka which we are reciting every time when we are referring. But do we really understand what this Ushpano Alpa Balatvena Dhatu Madhyam Apachitam? Dushtam Amasekatam Rasamamam Prachakshate. We are going to discuss in the slides how this is going to be made out. So, when we are looking this AMA terminologies, first and foremost, we have to look forward for the different definitions. The first one definition of the Ushpano Alpa Balatvina Dhatu Madhyam Apachitam Dushtam Amasekatam Rasamamam Prachakshate is the sentence given by the Vagbhata. Bhav Mishra gives a different sentence. Aharasya rasasaraha yo yo na patvo agni labdhite amasanyam cha labdhite bahuyahi samasrayah. This is the Bhav Mishra statement. Aharasya rasasaro yo na pakvo agni labdavat. Agni labdavat. Amasanyam cha labdhite bahuyahi samasrayah. When we look this sentence, he is going to further speak the Bhav Mishra, Lakshana, or how it is going to be appear. Avipakvam asamyuktam durgandam bahupichilam sadanam sarvagapranam ityabdiyate. This is the statementation of the Bhav Mishra. Of course, we have to look forward the different statementation of either the Vagbhata or the Bhav Mishra, and we can understand from the Vijay Rakshita commentary also, as he says, Amasayastha kayagri daurbalyat avipajitaha adha ahara dhatuddaha sa amasanya ketitaha. This is the Vijay Rakshita. But we have to go with the what is the definition of the sangraha also, Ashtanga sangraha. Anye doshebhyo evad drishtebhyo anyonyamuchanat godravebhyo vishasyeva vadantyamasya sambhavam. This is the statement of the Vagbhata, sangraha Vagbhata. And when we are looking, the commonly three things are going to be understood. The first one is the Ushma or the Agri. The second is the Adya Dhatu or the Rasa Dhatu. Whether the Adya Dhatu and the Rasa Dhatu are two separate entities or one and the same is once again a question. Because in the modern terminology, we have a Khail. The Khail is said to be the Adya Dhatu, and Rasa, which is giving the Prinana, is the other one. So even we are making differentiation, then we are going to get the standardization of these sentences. Chandranandana on the Vagbhata, he gives one more comment. Rasadhatutvena parinamanta ahara rasamityadha. Parinamanta aharam. Parinamanta aharam is the Khail. As when we see, we have to understand this in a different terminologies of the Ayurveda. Here I am trying to start a PPT which is going to be giving more information, and it is going to be showing the best of informations. You can just see, this is a long back given the program, and hope you are able to see this slide. Are you able to see the slide? Hello? Are you able to see this slide?
Sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Thank you. This was given a very long back lecture, and this lecture here we are just trying to speak one thing. First and foremost is what is this Ama we have come across out of the introduction, and we look upon every ancient creation is inferior to our misguided intellect. This is what my statement is. Because many a times when I am looking the our ancient literature, they were wiser than that of the us. They were having more best intellect than that of us. There is a one DIKW format. When we are looking this DIKW format, the first and foremost, when we look the Ayurveda, faith in Ayurveda is going to lead to the worshipping the Ayurveda. The knowledge of the Ayurveda, when we have, it helps in healing the patient and for the healthy living. When wisdom of the Ayurveda is going to be with us, it is going to give the eternity for the individual. We often refuse the knowledge and wisdom of the ancient people, and we just say it is only an individual expression and they do not have any scientific basis. But when we see out of this DIC format, when we say the DIC format is said to be data, information or intellect, knowledge and wisdom. Data, information or intellect and knowledge and wisdom, these four stages are going to be there always, all the time. But out of always, we are just limiting ourselves for the only data level, and we are not able to cross either the information assimilation or the intellect to use it, or otherwise knowledge to perceive and wisdom to develop. Now, when we see this Ama and Agni are both interrelative, as we are observing, Ama is said to be the anti-Agni concept. That means Agni suppression concept, which is going to be represent the dark side of the disease manifestation. When we see this concept of the Agni and its involvement in the pathogenesis, it is very well established that the utility of the Agni is being said. But the Agni embedded treatments which we are making, they are always confusing. Are we treating the Kayasya Antaragni Chikitsa, Kaya Chikitsa, or we are just using only Agni to boost, thereby the regulation of the Vishamagni or the Mandagni? This is a big question. Thus, the determination of these terms of the Agni and Ushma and Ama. Ushma is different, Agni is different, and Ama is entirely different. When we see Ama as an anti-Agni concept, Agni and Ushma are together, and Ama and Shitata is going to be together. Thereby, we have to be very specifically understand what is this Ama and what is this Agni, where it is going to be limited. The concept, when we are looking at, they include many of the systems and association of the autoimmunity, free radical theory, and many more also. But at present, we are going to discuss under the limelight of the Amavata, a specified disease. When I observe this Amavata, we try to correlate this Amavata always all the time with the rheumatoid arthritis or any autoimmune disease. But here, to evaluate the AMA is most important. That's what I feel. And in the Madhava Nidana and Madhava Chikitsa, many of the people doesn't know Madhavakara has written two parts, two volumes. The first one is the Nidana, Nidane Madhava Sreshta. That's why we are referring and reading the only Madhava Nidana. Madhava Chikitsa, nobody is having given. Very fortunately, I have one copy of the Madhava Chikitsa. This information of the Agni, when we see with the different aspects of the either the Grahani or otherwise Amavata, Agni is the most important thing, and thereby the Agni has to be evaluated but first and foremost to understand the Ama genesis. When we see and focus this example of the Ushpanavalpa Balatvena, the sloka which have been recited, this ama is going to be get developed in the amashya. That means the site of development is being established as amashya only. That means dhatusta ama is the also ama which is developed from the amashya only to be understood. The second is the agni. Here the manda agni is being said. Manda agni could be understood in two ways. The first one is lowered digestion because of the enzymes, less secretion of the enzymes, or otherwise requisite components like hydrochloric acid, bile, and etc. The second is a decreased pH. This is a directly acid productivity which is within the stomach itself, because amashaya has been taken or considered as the site of the ama development. The second is Nischalagati is the one word came across the sloka. This Nischalagati is stasis peristalsis, or otherwise people those who have the low peristaltic movements are subjected for the development of the ama, or otherwise excess of the time when it is going to retain in the gut a food material without or unprocessed or half processed digestion, it is going to create lots of the ama is being stated. Third is the viruddhahara, which is where the protein and lactic acid combinations, that is fish and milk, commonly being said, when it is going to be there, such sort of the viruddhahara is going to generate a toxicity materials or toxic materials into the GI tract. Next word attracted me is the Snigdha Bhuktavodo Vyayama. Snigdha Bhuktavodo Vyayama. When after consumption of the any fatty foods like biryani or some other fatty materials or sweets, when person is subjected for the Vyayama or muscular exercise or muscular excess muscular movement, at that time we can just say he is also subjected for the amagenesis. This is hyperhemodynamics inducted after the fatty consumption is to be understood. All these conditions are directing directly to the development of the ammonia in the GI tract, which is a nitrogenous waste material. Now, this nitrogenous waste material, how it is going to be get developed? Let us make a small focus on this ammonia development. When we consider this ammonia as AMA, otherwise ammonia, let us see first of all, ammonia is constantly produced. In the body GI tract, ammonia is being produced and it is being metabolized and it is being taken out from the body, which is a metabolic waste from the amino acid catabolism in mammals, and especially in the human bodies. Ammonia in the human body is produced mostly as a byproduct of the protein digestion or the bacterial metabolism. It is being stated how many n number of the cells are there in the body, 10 times to that of number are the microbes are there within our body. This bacterial metabolism is there in the gut and GIT, gastrointestinal tract, and kidneys, and also muscles, and everywhere in the body. When these glucose levels are being decreased by the starvation, especially, it is going to be giving rise a excess production of the ammonia is being stated. This happens because of the intense exercises. People, those who are having are making the intense exercises. This intense exercise making people like athletes commonly, or otherwise the people those who are making the workouts. These people, when they are going to be doing with the less glucose levels, the skeletal muscle also can generate the ammonia through amino acid catabolism. The amino acid catabolism is the one of the most important key factor when we are looking for the AMA to be developed in the body. That means here when we see the AMA lakshanas, we are going to get the rest of the things also. What we are discussing here right now. This flux of the moves into the brain, that is mostly likely by the both either the diffusion of the gaseous NH3 or otherwise mediated transport of the NH4 positive ion, which is a stable one, and by the channels and transporters to the plasma membrane, it crosses, AMA can cross plasma membrane. And that is the reason even the fetus also susceptible to get the AMA from the mother when in the womb, which will be a direct effect on the pH is good. That means one thing here I have understood. Whenever the AMA is going to be generated in the body, we can suspect the productivity of the AMA through the blood pH also. That means blood pH could be one of the most important biomarker to understand this AMA in the body as such. Here I have shown a picture which is going to be showing or distributing how the AMA productivity is going to be there. Initially, it is from the GI tract, whatever the food consumed, which is going to give rise from the GI tract and endogenous diet proteins, which we are going to consume. These endogenous diet proteins are going to be passed through the digestion in the gut, and there the dushta, which we are going to say dushta adya dhatu, the dushta adya dhatu, otherwise, which could be said as amino acid plus ammonia, which is going to be there with, and this amino acids and the ammonia is going to be crossing the barriers and reaching the liver as the arja dhatu. When it is reaching the liver, it is going to be either sent through the kidney as a urea, or otherwise it is going to be secreted back into the stomach. Here, once the back into the stomach, when it is going to be get secreted, this is going to be imposed, or it is being subjected with that of the weak acids which are there, and it is going to form as a uric acid. The urea is a water soluble, whereas uric acid is a fat soluble. Thereby, the urea is uh, rather removed from the body through the urine, and whereas the uric acid to remove through the urine or the water solubility is not possible. That's why it is going to become the leenatvam. When we see this leenatva, it is even further, it goes and deposit into the mitochondria also being observed. When we see this factor of the ammonia development, free ammonia is a very toxic, which is being referred in Ayurveda, Kodravebhyo Vishasyeva. Especially, it is toxic to that of the neurons. That is the reason either the neuromuscular or musculoskeletal are going to be susceptible for this AMA and targeted for the AMA. And eventually, it causes the subsequent diseases such as the neurological disorders, hepatic encephalopathies, Reye syndromes, or some other toxic encephalopathies, and etc. The ammonia, one of the principal products of the nitrogen metabolism, it is normally converted into urea in the liver, or otherwise, when it is being secreted back into the stomach, becomes the uric acid. This enzymatic series, which is going to be occurring in the liver, it is going to cause little disturbances. Thereby, we have to understand this, how this ammonia is being developed, what are the causes for the ammonia development. Let us see. We have already what are the causes for the AMA development. Here we are looking for the causes of the ammonia development. Reduced pH. Whenever the AMA is going to be there, there will be pH alterations because the ऊष्मणो अल्पबलत्वेन धातुमाच्यम apachitam dushtam आमाशय गतं rasam amam प्रचक्षते. When this, that means this entire stanza is stating AMA is very specifically the uric acid, that is level 1 AMA, level 2 AMA, level 3 AMA, level 4 AMA, like that we can consider even. The reduced pH, when there is a protein fermentation is going to occur, and when it is increased distally, as this pH, though through the transverse colon into the distal colon, it is going to be possible. Here in the figure I have given the pH levels, how it is going to be. Usually 1 to 4 is the pH of the stomach, and 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours is the stasis of the food. If the food is going to stay in the stomach more than that of the 2 hours, or if the pH is less than more than that of the 4, not in between 1 to 4, it is a weak acid when it is going to become, more alkali when it is going to become, it is going to cause or develop the problem of the AMA productivity. The second is this decreased peristalsis. The gut is especially vulnerable to the presence of the chronic and even sometimes acute also stress. That means the stress is also one of the root cause of the AMA to develop. Psychological conditions also being there with. It demonstrates stress-induced changes in the gastric secretions. Mandagni development causes are to be considered for the AMA development also. And thereby the gut motility is going to be decreased. See, most common thing, whatever I have observed, almost all the IVDP people, intervertebral disc prolapse people, are having the constipation as one of the complaint. And especially all these people are having low gastric motility. Because of this low gastric motility, musculoskeletal disorders are prone to get, especially at the low back. Here, when the mucosal permeability and barrier functions are going to get altered, visual sensitivity and the mucosal blood flow also going to be get altered. This is going to give the ammonia development. The another criteria or the cause of the ammonia to develop is the gut bacteria. Hello. When this gut bacteria is going to be there, these organisms involved in the ammonia development includes the several species of the bacteriotes, Eubacterium hale, Clostridium barretti, and proteolytic fermentations are going to be developed in the distal colon, which are said to be the toxic and also carcinogenic, and also metabolites such as the bacteriocins, ammonia, indoles, and phenols by this gut bacteria. Now you see, the cancer, most common thing is the colonic cancer. The colonic cancer, why it is becoming common is because of the AMA. AMA productivity is related to that of the movement of the gut and gut bacteria also. In the colon proteins, when we are looking for this fermentation, it was associated with that of the increased concentrations of the branched chain fatty acids. This fat is going to be one of the most. Bhuktam snigdhavato. Here see how beautifully Ayurveda Acharyas has said. If this snigdha ahara is being taken, that is going to cause the ammonia productivity is being said here, and our people say ama is going to be get produced when it is subjected for the exercise. This branched chain fatty acids, phenols, indoles, these derivatives of the indoles of the amino acid fermentation, they are going to give rise this ammonia. Thereby, we have to understand this ammonia, how it is going to be get increased. Hyperammonemia. If there is ammonia more in the blood, we call it as hyperammonemia. If there is hyperammonemia, this is the Raktagata ama, Dhatustha ama. That means first Raktagata ama, then the Rasagata ama, Raktagata ama, Mamsagata ama. After the other dhatu, it is going to invade. For each and every stage, Dhatustha ama is also being described in Ayurveda. Let us see hyperammonemia, what it gives. First and foremost, it gives the growth retardation and hypothermia. What ama is being stated? Ama is going to be a Vishatulyam, thereby the body is going to be deprived or diseased or decreased. The growth is being retarded. Second is the hypothermia. There the Ushma word is being used. The body is going to become cool, and the cool body is hypothermia, what is being a resultant of the hyperammonemia. The Rasastha ama, Raktastha ama, after the Rakta, when it invades into the Mamsa. Here, the poor coordination and this diadochokinesia and hypotonia or hypertonia, ataxia, tremors, seizures, and decorative or disturbative posturings are going to be get developed because of the muscular and neural, or the neuromuscular or the musculoskeletal. Both the systems are going to be get impaired. When in the central nervous system or in the brain, there will be combativeness, lethargy, and coma. The ama is going to cause lethargy is being stated. If the ama is more enough, it is going to cause even the coma is being stated. Especially for the eyes, it is going to give the papillae edema. There are some of the pulmonary and also liver symptoms also. Shortening of the breath is being stated in the pulmonary activity. Why the shortening of the breath is going to be? Because the oxygen exchange is going to be very less. That's why this shortening shortening of the breath is going to be there, and liver is going to be get enlarged. This is what we see whenever there is ama also. Now let us back to with the ama formation. As we see, we consider at present as ammonia or NH3 is ionic and become the NH4 stable formula in the liver, that is under the conversation of the Bhutagni. even the ama do require the Bhutagni Paka. Without the Bhutagni Paka, the conversion of the ama and stabilization of ama is not going to be observed. When we see this, it is converted by the Bhutagni in the liver, and Bhutagni wish to see that toxins are to be removed through the urination, but there is a transportation. There the transportation, when you see Vayuna Prerito Yamaha, here Vayuna Prerito Yamaha, it is going to reach the upper part of the stomach, Shleshmasthanam Pradhavati. When it reaches the Shleshmasthana in the stomach, that is, it is secreted into the stomach, again undergoes the digestion with the dhasau. It is going to be combusted. When this combustion means it is forming the uric acid, and thereby absorption is going to be there in the blood vessel, dhamani pratipadyate. But as it is being formed as a uric acid also, once again it is being taken into the blood. Already there is a urea. The urea is converted as the uric acid when it is being brought back into the stomach in the Shleshmasthana, and it is being once again taken back into the blood, dhamani pratipadyate. When this all the things are going to happen, an interaction with the tridosha is going to be there, and thereby abhishandita or the oozing is going to be there with this uric acid. Otherwise, ama which is there in the dhamani. It is to be understood as a trikam. Trikam is two way we can understand. Trikam is the trika sandhi, as we are speaking of the only lumbosacral area. Otherwise, the trikam is the trimarmiyam. When we see the trimarmiyam, the heart heaviness and the weakness is going to be seen. For the brain, the encephalopathies are going to be seen, or for the bladder, bahumutra are going to be seen. These three cardinal symptoms are going to be seen with the trika. As the site of the ammonia productivity is the colon, antra, and Asri Bhavata for the Vata, we are going to get the local nervous system impaired, and that causes the sacral stiffness and also pain. And all, because there is already retardation or the reverse peristalsis, and when the stasis is going to be there, stasis is going to be giving rise stiffness of the sacral region and also the pain, the tricum. That way we are understanding. The ammonia, when we see this, it is when it is going to be exposed for that of the gastric acids, as it is converted for the as uric acid, and these components of the ammonia like urea, uric acid, both are to be considered as the ama. This is what my feeling is. Further discussion can be made out. Here, Lena, Alina, two words are there with us. When we see this Lena Vada, Lena Ama, Alina Ama, the Mandagni, when it is going to be, when it is Vidatyannam, then we are going to get the Urdhvagata, Adhogata, both the things. When it is going to Vidatyannam, Urdhvagatam, Adisrishtam, and Dravam, Vibandham, which is going to be the three specific factors causes the Amlapitta. If it is going to be the Adho, Vidagdha Purishatvam and the Grahani, thereby it is different disorder. That means Ama Urdhagatatva gives different disorder, Ama Adhogatatva gives the different disorder. If it is a Tiryak Gatatvam, there is a Trividha Gati, there is a Chapara Gati. When this Tiryak or the Tiryak is going to be with the Lenam, when it is Dhatusta Ama, Dehasta Ama. Dehasta Ama is organ depositions like liver, brain, lungs, bladder, heart. All these areas are susceptible for the deposition of the ammonia byproducts. And you can just see Gomaya Churniya chapter in the Charaka Samhita speaks, uremic frost over the scalp. The Dhatusta Ama, what is this Dhatusta Ama? I was thinking for a longer time. Whether each and every Rasadhatu, Raktadhatu, Mamsadhatu, they are already interconnected with that of the some or the other organ. Ekrit Mamsa Khandam. if it is there in the Ekrut, it is being considered as a Mamsa. Now, this Dhatusta Ama, when I have seen the depositions of the urea uric acids in the mitochondria, it transports into the mitochondria and they are going to be depositing, especially making its Kayagri Amshas. Swastanasya Kayagne Amsha Dhatu Sthita. This is the Vagbhata statement. When Vagbhata is going to speak about this Kayagni Amshas, when this mitochondria is going to get deposited, the Ushma of the Sharira is going to be get decreased. And the energy productivity or the normal temperature of the body is going to be decreased and thereby the cool body is being observed. Sitatum, which is going to be there, is being observed. The same is being pictorial diagrammatic has been picked up from the physiology book, which you see how the mitochondria are going to be get deposited with the AMA. Now, this interrelation between the ammonia and AMA has to be examined. The AMA, when with the combination of the dosha with the pitta, vata, kapha, it is going to give the different disorders. Vata to be considered as a neural and neuromuscular, and the kapha is to be considered as the dhatustam, or the especially the mamsa and other things, or the all the drava dhatus, and pitta when it is going to be with the enzymatics. The enzymatics, when it is going to be get deprived, amla pitta is the one thing which is going to be seen immediately. If it is of the kapha, when the liquids or the fluid portion of the body is going to be get impaired, it is going to cause the prameha, penasa, etc. And if it is of the vata, when the neural and muscular are going to be there, urustambha, amavata are going to be there. Usually the vata rogas are going to be seen with relation with that of the brain, mutra rogas with the bladder, kukshi rogas with the purisha, especially three areas, three disorders are going to be seen with the ammonia, urea and uric acid. When we see this amavata lakshanas, the digestive process or digestive related are going to be observed like vairasyam, asya vairasyam, aruchi, avvakam, agridourbalyam, and katina kutshi, kutshi sula, chardi, antrapujanam, anaham. When it is of the Udakavaha Srotas related, Krishna is going to be there, Bahumutrata for the Mutravaha Srotas. Purishavaha Srotas is going to be there with the Vidvabandham. General, when we see Alasyam, Gauram, Jaram, Sonangatvam, Brahma, Murcha, Jadyam. And when the Trika is understood, Trikam is Tribarmiyam, Stabdata and Hrudroga are going to be seen, and Nidra Viparya also are going to be seen. These are the Amavata Lakshanas. These Lakshanas, whether they are related and looking similar to that of the ammonia depositions, or is it looking a some other way, we have to discuss at the end. I was speaking about the levels of the AMA. We can restructure these levels of the AMA as a normal or the regular normal or routine. Each and every day we are eating some of the other thing, thereby there is some part of the ammonia is being developed and it is being eliminated through the urine and so on. This is a very normal procedure and within the normal limits of the procedure. That means daily there is a possibility of the productivity of some amount of the AMA in the body is understood. The conversional is going to be, it is converted with, where it is converted already we come across at the Bhutagni level or at the level of the liver, it is converted as the urea. Ammonia is converted as the urea. This urea once again circulated in the blood. If it is within the normal limits, then it is normal. If it is decreased also, there will be a disease. If it is increased also, there will be a disease. Excretion commonly occurs from the KUB origination. And the recycling of this AMA, which is converted, this urea is being secreted into the stomach and converted as a uric acid, is the recycling mechanism of the ammonia. This is going to be get deposited either in the mitochondria or dispersion is going to be observed in the neurodispersive, hepatodispersive and immunotoxic material dispersiveness. And this is ultimately trichorogas, either the brain or the heart or the bladder or KUB originations are going to be seen ultimately. That is, otherwise, we have the three varieties of the Roga Margas. Abhyantara Roga Marga, Bahya Roga Marga, and the Marma, or the three Marmas. This Marmasti Sandhayoha. This Marmasti Sandhi is being targeted specifically when it is being converted as the uric acid. The crystal depositions are going to be get observed in many areas of the body. Pakvashaya, as the sometimes it's going to become amasya. What is the definition of the amasya and pakvasya? Till the time the digestion is not completed, that particular part is going to be considered as amasya in the body, in the Ayurveda. This pakvasya, as there is some specific extent where the amapakvasya division anatopically is being made, physiologically when it is being altered because of the slow movement of the gut, then it is going to be possible with that of the development of the ama. Decreased or increased urea, uric acid are going to give commonly the disease which we understand. Now, I just want to give a small break with the discussion of the ama and ammonia derivatives and byproducts. How Madhava wished to treat this Amavata, which he explained as one of the chapter in the Nidana. In the Madhava Chikitsa, chief principle which he adopted is the Agni Vruddhi. First and foremost, he wants to increase the pH. Thereby, he started using the Shadharana Yoga, Panchakola, and Vaiswanara, and Hingu Bhagavatara Churnas. These four churnas are prescribed by the Madhavakara. Whereas, along with that, he has used the Vata Hara Chikitsa. Whenever there is hyperacidity, we are doing the vagatomy. The vagus nerve is being cut. That means the Vata is going to be regulated in the Amavata is very specifically to be understood as a disease is going to be. But where the Vata, which Vata is to be? The Amasya, the Vata regulation is to be made with either the Rasta Saptaka or the Rasta Panchaka. Rest of the medicine he did not speak about. Third, he said is excess of the urination, even though Bahumutrata is one of the symptoms of the Amavata, he has prescribed the Mutra Dravyas like Punarnava. Why? He want to take out the as much as possible the urea, blood urea, thereby the excess of the urination is being prescribed in the Amavata, even though Bahumutrata is there. Next is already there is a pain. That's why the Vedana Hara Dravyas are being indicated. Here the Alambusha and Seti, these two are being said very specifically to use as the medicines. Now, some of the Amayika Prayogas which are discussed by the Madhavakara. Shunti is an analysis and Gotshra is a diuretic. Shunti Gotshra is only sufficient to treat the Amvata, he says. Second is the Eranda Taila is a Vata Haratvam, Shunti is the analgesic, and Vidanga is a criminal. That means there is a susceptibility of the infection superseded in the Amvata is being established by the Madhavakara also. The third is the Eranda Taila is a Vatahara and Goghrutta Bharjita Hingu is antispasmodic or the Dhanyamla Kanji is being prescribed. This is Ama says the Ama. That means Ama says the Ama, and where the elimination level of the Ama, and the third is where the Krimi or superimposition of the infectious conditions are there. All are being discussed by the Madhavakara. Ama, it's a derivative disease. When we are looking at it, can be prevented even with decreased usage of the following. Number one, nowadays we are using much and more of the fertilizers, especially urea, triple phosphate, and etc. They are being used to cultivate our food which we are eating, either the vegetables or the rice or wheat and etc. The staple foods. The second is the fermentation industries, which are either the alcohol or beverages when we are using, it is going to cause disturbance in the GAT. That's why the Amavata is getting generated. You can take the history of the Amavata patient. They are using these fertilized foods. Of course, nobody is excused, and fermentation products are going to be get used by these people. And third is the detergents and stain removers which we are using. They are containing the ammonia directly. You might be not knowing whatever we are using the utensils to clean it, or in the many of the sophisticated liquids which we are using to clean the floor and etc. All these are having the ammonia as one of the component. Some of the moisturizers and lotions which we are using for our external skin, especially in the winter season, that also have the ammonia. And even for the foot care, whatever we are using, those also have the ammonia. Why all these things? The hair dye which we are using nowadays, that also contains the ammonia. And preservatives of the any preservative food when we are eating, tinned foods, especially tinned foods or flesh, especially very specifically the meat and meat products are going to have the ammonia. And the fuel, environmental also. The diesel is having the ammonia, and thereby the smoke which is coming out of the car, diesel car, that also have got the ammonia. That means we are inhaling the ammonia, we are producing the ammonia, we are eating the ammonia, we are drinking the ammonia, we are applying externally also ammonia, we are all dipped in ammonia. How come this ammonia is not going to cause the ama for the present day and amavata for the present day is a very big question. That's why we have to regulate ourselves, then only it can be made. I have conducted one research with the Alambushadi Yoga of the Madhavakara and Dhanyamla Dhara and Hingvadi Gugulu. These three are different. The Alambusha and Dhanyamla Dhara are a comparative study. When we have seen Alambushadi Yoga has given abruptly very good result, and also Dhanyamla external Dhara without of the yoga also has given abruptly very good result. The very big analysis has been made on this particular. The third is the Hingvadi Gugulu. Whatever the Bhagavatara Hingu is there, we have used as a Hingvadi Gugulu along with analysis. That also has been given a very good results. Now, let us go back for the uric acid. As just I want to say the toxin word is to be replaced with ama. Whenever toxic materials or toxicity is being said in modern medicine, the toxicity word, if at all we are going to replace with the ama, neurotoxicity, hepatotoxicity, cytotoxicity, etc. This ama is representative of this here. We come across the ama is going to be the lina ama, alina ama, dhatusta ama. Here, the GAT level ama and the other way, the ama which is going to be pravruddha ama. Pravruddha ama, here you see the three categorizations. Low levels of the uric acids, when it is going to be there, it is going to be with reduced antioxidants. That means it is going to deprive the immunity is being stated. And there will be oxidative stress is going to be generated, and thereby a neurodegenerative disease are going to be there. Neurodegenerative diseases and osteodegenerative diseases also. The Amavata and Sandhivata and also going to be there with neurodegenerative and osteodegenerative. If there is high levels of the AMA are going to be there, that is the uric acid, it is going to be of the two way. It is going to be. One is the deposition, crystallization, and second is the solubility, which is going to affect on the central nervous system. The soluble, which is going to act on the central nervous system, once again, it is being said antioxidant is going to be there, and neuroprotection, which is going to be last. And a crystallization, which is going to be get deposited in the joint, it is going to cause the inflammation and causes the gout ultimately. Now, we can understand this ama with reference to that of many more toxicities and toxic productivities. This lean ama, when we say dhatusta ama, we have still further classification. We have very specifically dhatusta, rasasta ama, raktasta ama, like that. Each and every dhatu wise ama, what it is going to cause is also stated by the Ayurveda. And when it is going to be the lean ama, when it reaches to the mitochondria, what it is going to be. We cannot take out the mitochondria reached urea, uric acid directly. That's why it is a different way which we have to make out. That's what has been stated by the Ayurveda. This is what my small impression how this AMA at the present day terminologies and technologies which we have to use has been stated here. We may discuss for a little time about this AMA and we can continue it. Hope it is convenient for you and we did not go beyond our limitations. If you have any questions, let us make a quickly and we'll conclude this session. The ammonia and uric acid, when we are going to see the ammonia and uric acid best going to be eliminated through the Vamana. There is one paper which I have read and it's very, very really beautiful. And I have tried in many of the people, those who are with raised uric acid, and after the one Vamana, the patient almost become normal and it took a sum of the time. I was suggesting the same thing, Vamana, for the patients of the people, those who are undergoing with the dialysis. When the dialysis people are being subjected for the Vamana, the frequency of the dialysis which they were undergoing was reduced. That means the Vamana is one of the best alternative treatment for the people, those who are undergoing the dialysis and also those who are with having deposition of either the blood urea or the uric acid. Both the things could be comfortably eliminated through the Vamana karma. And of course, we have to use the Punarnava as one of the standard treatment and the Godshra. These two items are supposed to be compulsory we are using, and a proper elimination of the urine and nitrogenous waste products elimination through urine, and the second best and the first best is said to be the Vamana karma. These two things which we have to undergo with. This makes the people regulated. This has to be incorporated as a once in at least 3 months or 4 months. Then the people are going to be very comfortable, ammonia free. How to use this Vamana karma medicine? This Vamana karma, standard Vamana which we are using, the Madana Phala Yoga, that itself is sufficient. We do not require a normal Snehapana. I go usually for the suggest Snehapana. And if the patient is a very chronic patient and susceptible, looking at the anxiousness of the person, we can go for the 3 days, 5 days, 7 days of the Snehapana. Especially here, Vastyamayantaka Grita is the one of the best one to give the Snehapana. Vastyamayantaka Grita, after giving the Vastyamayantaka Grita, if we are going to give the Vamana Karma, then it is a very comfortable. And out of the 50 Mahakashayas which are being stated by the Charaka, those Mahakashayas, like Mutrala yogas which are there, they are to be observed and they have to be included. And to take out the Vibandhata, we have to give even the Basti Karma also. Then this combination of the Vamana, Basti and Mutrala Dravyas are going to be very comfortably regulating any autoimmune disease, and the patients with those who are susceptible for the higher blood urea and uric acid levels, or otherwise those who are subjected for undergoing for the dialysis and etc., they could be well treated with and under the supervision. If you are having any sort of the confusion or doubt, I do not have any confusion or doubt. If you have any confusion or doubt, you can take the help of some of the modern doctor. Let the ECG be taken and let the supervision of the doctor will be there for not to get any sort of the complications. And you try to use this Vamana karma followed by the Vasti karma, and along with the Mutra Ahara Vihara Dravyas and the Vibandha Hara Chikitsa. This makes everything comfortable for the patients of the Amavata and the people, those who are with the higher or raised ammonia byproducts like urea or uric acid. Any other questions?
The dialysis patient, we can do Snehapana, sir.
we see, we can do this Nehapana, suggest Nehana, we can make out. Vastyamyantaka Krita, it is going to act on the kidney itself, and instantaneously we can make out. That's why I said, if you have any question or doubt or confusion, then you can take the help of the modern doctor. Under the supervision, we perform our action and let the urea, uric acid before and after is being taken out. This gives evidence. I have got the evidence.
Okay.
And
So,
especially the ahara dravyas, when we are speaking, I think next time, next week, if somebody are going to, I already invited the many n number of the people to speak on this particular dais. If the nobody is going to come, I speak about the Mutra Vahasroto Sambandita Ahara Viharas. And it is going to make the ammonia clean. Especially the Punarnava is used as a vegetable also. Punarnava is used as a vegetable. If it is used as a vegetable, then it is going to give the ammonia clearance. And a purgation. That's why I don't go for the purgation. Usually the patients of this category are going to be weak enough. That's why I suggest a Nitya Virechana like. People are going to have the regular Virechana, like with the, we don't go with the Abhayadi Modaka or like, we can go for the Swadishta Virechana Churna or Kayam Churna nowadays. These are going to make the regular Virechana. Some of the extent is going to be passed away. And people, those who are contraindicated for the Vamana, they can be given with the Virechana as the Ubhaya make. And of course, Ikshurasa is also all the Trudapanchamulas. All the Trudapanchamula is said to be the one of the best for that of the KUB originative disorders. We can use not only Ikshurasa, we can use all the Trudapanchamula. And especially the Kusyakas and Naladarbha. These four also have a capacity of the regenerative and anti-radiation therapy also. If suppose a kidney is being under the susceptibility of any radiation or any damage, when there is a regeneration is required along with the Punarnava, this Trudapanchamulas are going to give a very good effect. Okay, I think I'm very much thankful for you all, and next week we'll be back once again, and see you and good night. And I'll give the timings. This is becoming so late night, I believe. Thereby, we are going to start at 8 o'clock from the next week. Thank you and good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good